You can protect yourself from negativity. And that's what stops most people, negative thoughts. You can coat your mind from negativity. It's a real simple exercise to do. I do it every morning before I walk out the door. So I walk out as a positive person. You know, I get tired sometimes. That's different from being negative. To coat your mind from negativity, the way you can put a coating around your mind is with one simple thing: gratitude. Gratitude erases negativity. If you wake up in the morning and you start having negative thoughts, man, this ain't my day. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. I'm tripping, I just don't feel myself. Every time you feel, in the middle of the day, if you feel yourself doing that, stop, just stop for a second and start going over in your mind everything you have to be grateful for. Not everything you want, everything you already have, because what you have is substantial. You just haven't gone over the list and taken inventory in a long time. But the fact that you can walk, that's a blessing. The fact that you woke up, that's another blessing. The fact that you can see, think, reason, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go somewhere and get yourself something to eat, that's another blessing. The fact that you can go and turn the key and call someplace home, that's another blessing. The ability to dream is a blessing. The fact that you have an opportunity to get it right is another blessing. The fact that you're beautiful, that's another blessing. The fact that you have any measure of health, that's another blessing. And I'm just talking to you, I don't even know you. I could give you 50 things you ought to be grateful for right now. I don't even know you. Start coating your mind with gratitude. It'll change everything for you. Last year I was complaining a lot, and I couldn't understand why these few deals wasn't closing. I was on vacation, I was sitting on the boat, I was looking out over the water, and God he just showed it to me. He said, well, Steve, you've been complaining a lot about your workload, about how much you got. I can't give you no more because I don't want to tax you. I don't want to overburden you. Finished up the vacation, I came back, I changed everything. I wake up every morning with nothing but gratitude. Talk to God often, even if you're not perfect. Just talk to him every day. You don't have to be in the same faith I'm in, or you ain't got to call God the same thing I call him. But listen to me, you do have to call him though. Faith don't make it easy. Faith makes it possible. I was homeless, and I used to fish all the time. I wasn't fishing playing, I was fishing catching fish, because I drive to a rest area, because I kept charcoal in my trunk, and when I got to them little grills on the side of the rest area, I'd take my charcoal and I'd fry my fish. But I was always fishing somewhere illegally, because I ain't own no lake or nothing. And I catch a string of bass, probably get 6, 7 on there. Hey, what are you doing over here? Get away, get out of here. I pull my string up. Hey, them fish don't belong to you. Let them fish go. I got to take all them fish off the hook and throw it back in the water. So first thing I said, I told God, I said, when I give me some money, I'm gonna buy me a piece of land. Because I just want a piece of land where can't nobody run me off. I started asking for 6 acres of land. I just wanted 6. So I messed around and got my first piece of money. I got me a check for about $115,000. So first thing I did, went to Dallas, Texas, said I'm gonna buy me some land. I found a piece of land, I thought it was perfect. Had a fishing lake at the end of it, because I love to fish. I was with a real estate agent. I said, how much is this? He said, it's $250,000. I can't afford this. So he called the guy. The guy said he would take $115 now, and I could pay him the rest later. And before I did it, I said, hey man, let me ask you something. How much land is that? He said, oh, that's 6 acres. I got ready to sign it up. The real estate agent said, Mr. Harvey, before you sign that, I want you to think about it. I want to show you something else. So he took me over to this dude's house. I never met this guy. He talked to me, he said, I want to show you something. I go over there and I couldn't believe it, man. It had rolling hills on it. It had 4 lakes on it, fishing ponds. I said, how many acres is this, man? He said, 16 acres. I said, man, I can't afford nothing like that. He said, well, hold on, I'm in a tide right now. Tomorrow morning, if you bring me $115,000 check, I'm gonna give you this land. So I got the 16 acres of land the next day. So I said, wow, that's how it worked. You have not because you ask not. I asked for 6. Soon as I was gonna buy the 6, he put some grace on it. Next thing you know, I got 16 for the same money. Some land opened up next to it. I bought 18 more acres. I ended up owning almost 300 acres of land, but I just kept on, man. Just kept on with it. I just kept the faith. I kept believing. I kept asking him. I kept wanting. God got great life for you, man. But you're gonna have to ask for it. And when you ask for it, you're gonna have to believe it. After you believe it, you gotta put your work in. See, getting what you want is up to you. How you get there, that's up to God. Life is risk. It takes courage to pursue your dream. God is very good, man, when he sees you take a leap of faith. He supplies you everything you need. Now, it's gonna cost you something. Most people are not willing to pay what it costs to go after your dream, because you're gonna have to hurt a little bit. And most people don't like being uncomfortable. If you don't wanna be uncomfortable, please do not pursue success, because success is a very uncomfortable feeling. I learned to be comfortable being uncomfortable. I was 27 years old and I was like miserable. And I just kept trying to figure out what my life was for, because I discovered something, that the 2 most important days of your life are the day you're born and the day you discover why. And at 27, I just hadn't figured out the why. And I walked into a comedy club October 8th, 1985. First time ever in a comedy club. Didn't even know comedy club existed. I won amateur night that night. $50, drove 40 minutes home, cried all the way home. This girl I rode with, she said, "Why you crying? It ain't but $50. You don't even understand. I'm born." She said, "What you mean you born?" I said, I know what I'm gonna do the rest of my life. She said, "You ain't winning but $50. No, I've been praying my whole life, God, what is it? My life gotta be more than this. I went to work October 9th, the next morning, and quit my job. That decision cost me everything I had. I lost everything. I lost my family. I lost friends. I became homeless. I lived in a car for 3 years. None of my family believed in me. The only family member I had that thought it was a good idea was my father. He just said, "Son, if you think you can make it, get on out there and get discovered." My father was born in 1914. It wasn't good. My grandfather was a slave. So my background of people becoming successful was like, and my dad was the only one who believed in me. Everybody else told me no, laughed at me. But I just saw this, I saw this vision. I just pursued it. I said, wow, that's it. You have to take chances in life. If you don't take chances in life, you'll never have the life God has for you. Everything you've ever gone through, God got you through it. You didn't even realize it. He just got you through it. Don't forget to pray, but don't be ashamed to pray. And don't be too proud to pray. Prayer changes things. The cool thing about prayer is the one thing that's available to everybody at any given time. Do you know that God ain't ever too busy for you? You know that God actually knows who you are? Do you know that God actually created you to converse with him? Do you know that God would actually love to hear from you? Do you know that I like talking to him even when I don't really need nothing? So when I do need something, I don't want to have to introduce myself to him. Don't you think I got here without him? I've needed him every step of the way. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be standing here today. All I ever asked God for was to let me eat. Let me sit at the table with the big boys. Take me from this homelessness that I'm in and fill my coffers with spoils. You know how much I have today? I have more than I ever thought I'd ever have. God gave me more than I asked for, because he got this thing he has called grace. I wish I could buy it. Justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. Grace is different from both of them. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. You ever heard old people say, all I want is a little more grace? Because guess what? He passes it out. The money I make, where I live, what I drive, how I travel, I don't deserve it. I work really hard, but I really don't deserve all this. God takes you to places that you never ever thought you could go. With God, you can make it.